Alright guys, so don't freak out. I'm about to show you something. Well, up here in the cabin. There's no glass in our cabin, Dad! Oh no! Well, another can of worms, another day. So this started off as a small little project of tracking down leaks in our windows, and along the course of the way it evolved into fully removing the windows and kind of, I guess in a way, in the meantime diagnosing what was actually leaking. So
it was a combination of things.
Yeah.
Separation of the sealant from the wood here, and then on the outside here where the fiberglass is and the wood is against it, it's separated in places, and so water would run down the visor and down the front and just enter in right there. So yeah, like Matt said, originally we were just going to clean this wood up, paint it black and reseal it, but it just didn't make a lot of sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're going
a bunch
through
of work into it, and then
go through all the prep, and then just like have to do it again.
Down the road, do it again. Yeah.
Yep. So it's kind of your typical bright wood that you see on many boats. You know, usually these guys on your seiner, they got crew who they can put to work and shine up your bright wood and do all that stuff, but.
And then there's a lot of seiners that never do it, and
yeah.
This is kind of what happens. Same thing. It's hard to justify putting this kind of work into wood every single year, to sand it down, to put 3 or 4 coats of varnish on it just for it to pretty much look like it did when you started 6-8 months down the line. So it's something that you really have to keep up on, and there's a lot of other things that are more important on a fishing boat.
Yeah.
So we're just going to eliminate it. It sounds like a horrible thing, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, trigger warning, by the way.
Yep. So
we're gonna finish cleaning this stuff up. Dad's been really busy getting it prepped here.
Yeah, we kind of changed the profile. These were all pretty sharp corners before, just a very small radius on them. Maybe an 1/8. Now they got more like about a 1/2 inch round over. We just did it with a grinder and a sander. These used to have another layer right here, which brought them out. Yeah, that doesn't go there, but you get the idea. That used to be there. We just eliminated it. It's just another thing to have to clean up, have to try and radius. You got the screws in the way. Just got rid of it, and this is the profile that we're left with. I think it looks real good.
Yeah, then we can also kind of bind into that layer of glass that continues from down here. So.
So it was a nice, easy cleanup. Oh, the other thing too is, you know, a whole bunch of these screws broke off in the process, and we would have needed to countersink those down anyways, and so it just made sense to eliminate it. It's one less piece of wood to prep at the end of the day. And like I say, I like the profile. We're leaving a little piece on the end right here just to kind of create that frame. These were longer. They got trimmed down. I think it looks good. And other than that, we had the one piece right here that it had actually broken and separated. So that was probably a pretty big water leak. Right here it's pulled away. Definitely water going down in there. Somebody mounted the bell right there, which had like a slot cut in it for the bottom of the bracket that the brass bell hangs on. And that was a water catcher, so it's just time to change it. And luckily the wood is in good enough shape. It's actually in really good shape. Just a couple tiny little spots of rot. This piece right here that was broken at some point, I just cut it off. This was the crack right here, and it was sticking way out. It was way proud. It was pretty weird looking. So we'll get that puttied in and ferret it all out. You'll never know it was there. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
So all the windows pretty much got trashed, taking them out. I don't know how they got them in. It's quite possible that they added one of these frames afterwards, either on the outside or the inside. At any rate, all we could do was just break them and take them out. They were safety glass, so they 1/4 inch pane with safety glass in the middle, so 2 1/8 inch panes, I guess. We just threw some tape on them and busted them out. That was the easiest way to deal with it. We won't be putting glass back in here. We'll be putting Lexan in. It's high impact, it's very durable, it's easy to cut, it's easy to shape. Glass would be a lot more expensive and time consuming. We'd have to get it ordered from somewhere, have to have precise measurements. So yeah, we got a decent afternoon here. This took pretty much, well, I spent some time on it yesterday, but the plan was different yesterday too. And once these windows came out, it really accelerated the time it took to get it tidied up, and so it's all pretty much ready to go. I just got to knock a little gel coat off the top and bottom here so we can lay in a nice fillet, wrap our glass around. Yeah, we got a decent afternoon. Got some weather coming in tomorrow, so we're hoping at least to get the end ones here, and that'll kind of protect this, and we'll just wrap our plastic around it. Should be all right though.
Yeah.
It's not like it hasn't been wet before.
Yep. So I just want to share with you guys. Sorry for not capturing the start of the project, but like we said, it was kind of just an evolving thing. We didn't anticipate going this far on it. So.
I actually thought it was going to be quite boring. You know, do a little sanding, a little bit of cleanup.
Yep.
A little bit of painting. Yeah, and here we are. No windows later.
All right, Dad got these all trimmed up, flattened out, looking good. Really focused on making this face here smooth in order to receive a window frame, or kind of laminate frame, which he's now creating. Back here and see.
Blasted rain.
What you got there, buddy?
Yeah. Well, we're starting to make some inner frames for our windows. I just templated them out using some thin plastique. Cut some strips, just hot glued it to the wood up there, hold it in place, and then overlap the next piece, a little bit of tape, a little hot glue. It's just rough, kind of gets the outer perimeter, and then this is going to be a little bit longer than the frame because we want that profile on the inside that gives us extra surface to seal our new windows against, and it should give us a nice profile on the outside also. It raises up that edge also, and doesn't create, it creates more of a water dam right there because those frames are sloped in a little bit, kind of contrary to what they should be. So this will help kind of alleviate that problem of the water trying to work its way down. Have a bit of a dam there. We'll have to go up above. So yeah, just a simple template. Once these get dry, I'll use this to trim the outside of it, and then I'll come in and strike our lines on the inside where we want it. Probably put a nice little radius on the corners, and we'll trim that, and then those can get glued into the existing window frames that we already fiberglassed.
As you guys might be able to hear, it's pouring out. As you can see our actual rain indicator here.
Rainy day.
Our shelter's holding up good, but it's beginning to show signs of leaking. Got a couple of leaks coming down here. Actually, I think those ones have always been there. Over here, seeing some modification just to tackle this stanchion area here. And the freezer deal is now gone, so that's nice. Guess we showed you that the other day. Just gotta take the grinder to this, clean it up a little bit. A couple layers of glass to the back of the house. No big deal. Garden cleats dumped. Not gonna do it in the rain, don't want to get soaked. Okay, a few hours later.
Turned out good.
Now careful not to mar your surface.
Very true. Okay. Oh, look at that.
Nice, beautiful.
Good. Just what we want. It's kind of satisfying. So 4 layers of 2408 and 2 layers of CSM chop strand mat on this. Same thing, very nice finish. I don't think I'm even gonna mess with this finish at all
Yeah, I wouldn't.
because it's
That's
kind
great.
of, it's a little bit keyed, which is gonna allow that silicone to go into those little tiny pockets and get a good grip. Come on in, guys. So what I did is I just templated these out with, I think it's just some thin flexible cutting board. I cut some strips, a little bit of hot glue to hold them in place, and I guess this was probably for the center one. Nothing real fancy, just real rough. That was to get the shape of everything, and then I traced this out on that piece of UHMW, laid up some frames, and so they're basically just this thickness here, and allowed me to make the frame and not have a bunch of wastage. There was a little bit, as you saw, but not a whole bunch. And afterwards, I trimmed out the outside to get them to fit in here. It's just a rough fit. These are going to get glued in with resin and structural putty. They'll get filleted on the other side, and they'll just become one with the frames that we already fiberglassed. And so just a rough cutout to get them. We had to do some demo in these corners to actually get these to fit in. There used to be wood right here. Frames wouldn't fit in there otherwise. Got to come in sideways. These ones kind of had to come in from up at the bottom. Had to knock a little bit off this frame right here, not a whole bunch, maybe about 1/8 of an inch. Just enough to get those to slide in there. Like I say, there is a gap, but that's fine because we'll just fill that with putty. And yeah, now these will go up in there. I just put a couple of holes. These are just going to help me register this when we actually glue it in, because what I did was I put these up in place, and then I just had a little tiny piece of scrap that I used to mark these on the back side, and I marked them on kind of each flat, connected the lines with a straight edge, and then used the cap off of a juice jug to get my radius. And yeah, there it is.
Yeah, they sure look good.
Yeah.
So having the frames in there will also serve another purpose. The previous windows basically had a big pool of varnish in the corners here to, I guess, to kind of help shed water. But without that pool of varnish there, obviously there's a little water trap here. So with these frames being up higher, that'll keep any sort of water from just, I guess, resting on the silicone all the time.
Well, we've been bouncing all over the place on this rebuild, so I'm not really sure what we've captured as far as these windows go, but thought we'd at least get a little snippet here of putting these frames in. Now just mix me up some structural putty. I got a big bead around here. That's going to bed it into the old oak frame right here, and also bond it to our new fiberglass that we wrapped the outside with. We put a little fillet on the outside. This is really less structural than it is just going to provide a really nice smooth face for our Lexan windows to seal against. And this putty here will bond somewhat with this wood, but this stuff it's not very porous, and so a lot of times you won't get a real good bond against oak. But the important thing is that it's just filling any gaps and just kind of giving us a nice flat surface. And so we'll see if we can kind of wiggle this thing in here. It's a pretty tight fit, but
Save the biggest struggle to capture on camera.
yeah.
It's the way to go.
Yeah, these
The other ones
are,
have gone smoothly.
These ones are a little bit funny right here. These two, I guess, inside ones, because of the angle of everything here. So let's see, I think I need to come in like this, and we'll see how much stuff we can smear everywhere. Very little, it looks like. Nice. There we go. So I already have my holes pre-drilled and marked. So it kind of took the guesswork out of getting these in here evenly. You're looking for a nice reveal on the outside, a nice even reveal. And so by pre-drilling these and actually having these mounted in place before we drilled the rest of the holes, we end up with a really nice even reveal on the outside.
Excuse the winch noise. Pretty much the whole salmon fleet is in right now, enclosure, so might have picked that up.
Yeah, lots of activity in the harbor today. Actually, this last couple of days. And there we go.
Voila!
One left. Okay, I got some of the finish work done on the other side. Just sparing the stuff out. Basically, kind of filling the weave of the chop strand. It probably would have been smart to go over this with just a layer of like 6 or 8 ounce cloth. You get a better finish, but I just kind of hit this with the grinder and knock down the heavy stuff real quick, and then come back in with the sander, and it gets pretty smooth. There is some small holes and everything, like I say, where the different strands overlap.
So yeah, here's ferret out stuff. It's quite smooth. Feels good. Didn't get quite to the top here yet. Still gotta grind off the heavy. Can't really fit our grinding disc up there very easily without either nipping the top or nipping the bottom. So I have to take that one slow. Yeah, it looks really good, Dad.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Very happy with it.
Here's the reveal. That'll look nice. So yeah, just a quick little update, I guess, for you guys. Haven't been filming a whole lot lately. Just came back from fishing. Well, I guess a few days ago, but working a few days on the boat here and then head back out fishing. So it's kind of crazy schedule currently.
Yeah, this is really the only second day on the job here, huh?
Yeah.
There's really a lot of gap on this one, huh? Guess I didn't realize that at the time. Oh, so that's why they make putty. All right, folks, just a little update on these windows here. Got the inner frames are in and everything. Matt went back in here and added a layer of 45 and a layer of matte to the outside, just to go over the fillet that we put out there, the structural putty. Just kind of tightens it up a little bit, make sure it doesn't chip off. And now we're starting to cut some windows. So I'm just using the same material that I used earlier to make this template. Just roughly get this outline. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're gonna leave a little bit of room in here for expansion, just with this wood and everything. So we'll just fill that with silicone when we do. So the fit doesn't need to be perfect. We do want a little bit of wiggle room, and also these frames are really tight right here anyways. It may need to get trimmed again to fit, but that's the basic shape. And now I'll just go ahead and take this out here and throw it on our sheet of Lexan, trace it and cut it. All right, so getting ready to cut this Lexan right here. This is genuine Lexan. This is Margard 10, MR10. It's really good stuff. It's got a UV coating and kind of a anti-abrasion, anti-scratch resistance on the outside. We've had the same stuff on the fishtail for getting close to 20 years now, I want to say. It's got almost no scratches or anything on it, just from normal use. And it might be starting to haze a tiny little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's really durable. They do make another kind, Lexan, I think it's Markalon, and that's got enhanced UV protection, which is supposed to be a little bit better, but I figure if we get close to 2 decades out of it, then that's nothing to complain about. So this stuff is really easy to cut. I'm just using a jigsaw. You can certainly use a skill saw on it. I would use ours, but the the blade is dull and I don't want to tear it up, so I'm just going to kind of slow boat it, cut it with the jigsaw. You can see that it cuts very nicely. It also machines nicely. On the fishtail, ours was mounted externally with bolts going through it, so we ended up routering the edges of it, and it was just beautiful to work with. Didn't have any problems at all hitting it with the router, so really good stuff, easy to work with. Nothing special going on here. These don't need to fit perfectly because they are mounted internally, and they'll have wood blocking going around them, so you're not going to see any of these edges or anything. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and mark these with a short, small little mark here, and then I'll connect the dots. I might make it just a little bit smaller than my footprint right now. It's not even very straight, so try that one again. Like I say, it doesn't need to be perfect anyways. I may or may not have to trim this when I'm done. So let's go ahead and cut the stuff. My blade's starting to get dull a little bit, but that's all right. Okay, well, you can see it really does cut like butter and just leaves a beautiful finish. I'll put a little radius on these corners, just rough cut them with this, and then take a grinder with a sanding disc and round it off. It sands really nice, or in the case of that grinder with a, I don't even know what the grit is on those. Is that like 80 grit, Matt? 60 grit?
Those ones are 80, yeah.
80 grit. Yeah, it leaves a really nice finish. So we'll go ahead and cut these other ones out and get them up there. It's going to be a few days before we take this coating off. We got to finish working on the windows, kind of just cleaning up the fiberglass work a little bit, smooth out the big lumps. Still needs to be gel coated, and then at that point we'll probably get these mounted, and I think we'll just leave at least the inside film on until we're completely done with this project, and that way it just keeps the dust and all the grime off of them. Alright guys, so I'm just getting this windowsill taped off right here, so we can get this last window put in. The other 4 are done already. I'm going to put a pretty heavy bead of silicone on all this, so want to tape this off so we don't end up with a big old gooey, ugly, sticky mess on the outside of here. So I just kind of rough taped off most of it, and I just left a little edge here, and then for the last part I just come in with a small strip here. And then just take a utility knife and cut it, or at least awkwardly try to. So.
Want me to hold it for you?
So give us a nice clean edge. And if you take a look at the window over there, I've already got that one all done.
There's the Lexan here, and blue tape. The white is on the back side, the protective screen.
We'll run a thick bead of silicone, actually several thick beads. We're shooting for about 1/8 of an inch thick on that, so actually just kind of took my tube of silicone here and heated up the end of it with a heat gun, and then squished it flat, and then clipped it off, so it'll just make it applying it a little bit quicker and easier. All right, just getting our tube of silicone ready. This other one is just about gone, so I know I'll be needing that one. I think we are on, this is used probably about 2/3 of a tube on each window. And not a whole lot of, squeeze out a little bit, but not a whole lot. Kind of the name of the game is to make sure you get enough on there right off the bat, because you're not going to be pulling these windows back out to apply more. It's just, you'll end up making a massive mess. So better just to lay it on thick and clean up the extra than to come up short and regret it. There is some little bit of inconsistency in these frames. They're not perfectly flat, so this fills any of that void right there. I think one was really flat. A couple weren't quite so flat. So lots of silicone is the name of the game.
Well, it'll sure be nice not having leaking windows, because there's nothing much more annoying than that.
Yeah, that's for sure. We never really gave them a very good proper test when we brought the boat back to Kodiak. We never really bucked into any. I don't think we even got the windows wet, to be honest with you.
Very lightly at the Barrens, and that was it. And that was like a very limited,
like southwest
there,
or southeast, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Alright, that's pretty good there. I think I used a little more than last time. That's probably closer to a whole tube. But you can see that the stuff spreads out pretty nice too. You just put a nice thick bead in there like that. This is probably where I get this all over my sweatshirt.
On the last window.
Yeah, or drop it on the floor. That'd be pretty classic, wouldn't it? I think as I've gone here, I've applied progressively more of this stuff. I don't know. Okay, well, that's pretty good, huh?
Looks good.
So I have a couple of blocks up here already. So the pane will actually rest on the bottom of that, and that gives me a little bit of gap underneath here. That way if the wood expands or contracts a little bit, it's not right up against the pane. We made sure that we had a little bit of room all the way around, and I also put a block up there in the corner, so this end needs to go in first right here, and I bring it up and slide it in. It's a little bit tricky. One more time. So just get my little tabs here. Gotta get this top corner in. Just like that.
You're in.
Smooth motion, yeah?
Yeah. Smoothest yet.
There it is.
And then I just have some clamps up here I can put up here, and then you can kind of see that we've used screws all over the place in order to hold everything in place, which I forgot to take off and have prepared for this last one. So I better at least get one in here so it doesn't slip out of here and ruin the job. And now Matt will just kind of tell me what I need to do out there. We'll move this around a little bit.
Oh, hi.
Hi, what you doing there?
So you can see all the squeeze out. I'm just kind of pressing it up into the crack, make sure it's all filled up nice and evenly. Going for about a 1/8 inch thick gasket, so to speak.
Oh.
And yeah, just pushing any excess back in. It pushes in a little bit and it doesn't really go to waste, I guess. So I'll do this, and then I have a stick over here that I'll use to smooth out for a nice consistent finish. There's just a corner cut on a stick, and I'm just gonna run it in the corner there. Scrape off the excess. Yeah, looks good. Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
You can push the metal in on the port side just a little bit. Not very much. It's, I mean, it's probably fine. Yeah. Hair more. Okay, that's good. Good. Yeah, I like it.
Great feeling.
Yeah.
Great feeling.
What's the water for?
Just to smooth this out a little bit better. And try and make a big mess. And that is peeling this tape off. And trying not to make a gigantic mess in the process. So this window project has gone well, except for the gel coat, which we are not happy about. But I think I talked about that some already. I guess at the end of the day, we've kind of got this nice, like, wood grain look as a result of the layer underneath showing through. Or I should say, the layer underneath being exposed by the top coat that failed to cure in places and has been tearing off. Like you can even see it on the tape right there. It's like whatever. Yeah, so a bit of a fail on that one, but all in all, I mean, this stuff will and is hardening up.
Just taking a long time.
It'll just take a long time, yeah. And that's fine. It's just gonna do what it wants to do at this point. So we'll let this sit a few days and then we'll peel off this film on the outside. I don't want to pull it off right now because it's on there pretty good and it might shift the window around. Let the silicone harden up a little bit, and then it'll be fine to pull off in a couple of days.
All right, so time to peel off this protective film on these windows. You guys saw the other day we put them in with the silicone. Let the silicone cure off a little bit here, and also gel coated the outside around the frames. So now it is time to do the big reveal.
Actually, a little bubbly in there.
A little bit, huh?
Maybe I should have wiggled it around it more, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, looks like it made good contact all the way around.
Yeah. So all this will get covered up with trim, so it doesn't matter.
And now for the outside. Wow.
How do they look?
Looks good.
A little dusty is all.
Yep, a little bit of dust on the outside there. Rinse off. Looks good.
Beautiful. Wet gel coat out there.
That's kind of like when I take a film off of like a computer component, it's just like satisfying.
Yeah.
A little cleanup here and there on the silicone, huh?
On the outside,
Yeah.
a little bit. I don't know if I'll worry about it too much.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
Wow. Looks good.
Right, that was my fair share of fun. I'm going back to welding.
What you think, Mom?
Nice, crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look good.
So we taped it off this morning and painted the outside of the frames there. That gel coat still isn't fully kicked off. It's still a little gummy in places, but maybe over time it'll finish curing and it'll be fine. Either way, it's not like it's a high traffic area, so it's not going to affect anything. And if it peels off, and we'll just do whatever. Fix it up again.
Looks good.
Yeah, I like it.
Pointing your camera.
Oh, Mom, here, come do this one.
Got it. Good feeling, eh?
Yeah. Sweet. What you say, T?
Nice.
You like?
You.
Me too. So we also finished the last of our rub rail work. This side's been done for a bit, but we moved over here to this side of the dock to take care of this last forward one, so now it's done too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of good.
So, guess our next task will be to get these cap rails sanded off and repainted too. They're still in good shape. The wood is, it's not rotten or anything, so. A few of the plugs here have popped out, the fasteners rusting up and pushing them up, so we'll probably just throw some structural putty in those, and any that are popping out like that, just blast them out with some compressed air and slap some of that stuff on them, and should be fine. But that'll be next. Got a good stretch of weather here, so we'll probably try and knock that out too, while the wood is still in good shape. So yeah, anyway, looking really good. Someday on these side ones we'll get some more UHMW like that stuff, and bring it up there. I think we're gonna leave that top one up on the bow without rub rail on it, just because we kind of like the look of it better without. So anyway, that'll come later.